Before she died in 2001, Eudora was widely recognized as one of the best short story writers ever to lift a pen. But earlier in adult life, she was a photographer in her native Mississippi and in New York City in the 1930s. 2009 marks the centennial of her birth, and while her life and work will be amply recognized over the course of the year, we thought it would make sense to begin at the beginning, with her pictures. People at the Museum of the City of New York thought so too, and they mounted an exquisite showing of those pictures recently. In the symposium held at the opening of that exhibit, we caught up with some of the panelists to talk about the woman in question. This is Suzanne Mars speaking. She first met Welty in the 1980s and became the author of Eudora Welty, a biography.
It's taken on Eudora Welty's street, Pinehurst Street, in Jackson, Mississippi on a Sunday morning. And the little girl was ready to go to church, and Eudora saw her and snapped that shot. Proper title is Window Shopping. It was also called, at one point, I think, Teachers Don't Get Paid. She took a lot of photographs of mothers and children. She loved those, and there's another one called Madonna with Coca-Cola, and there's several. She could have almost done a series of photographs on that theme.
Reynolds Price, the James B. Duke Professor of English at Duke University, whose friendship with Welty began in 1955 when he was an undergraduate at Duke, and she helped him get his first short story published.
I was born in 1933, so I was a little child when most of these photographs were taken, but the South being the slow place it is, it changed very, very little. And the particular scenes that you've chosen here really do suggest very much the world that I knew at that time in the mid to late Depression. I was born in the worst month of the Depression, February 33.
Robert McNeil, a friend of Welty's. She liked to watch him on the McNeil-Lehrer NewsHour. And he wrote a book on her pictures titled Eudora Welty, Seeing in Black and White.
I think what's remarkable about the photographs of people, and particularly black people, in the 30s in Mississippi, is that she could see them. They were socially invisible, and as human beings, often invisible. And in a way, these photographs of black people give us an insight into a personality who saw the humanity of these people before we began officially to recognize. She grew up as a loving observer. And these photographs, not only is she an unthreatening presence to these people, but she sees their human qualities, and they trust her. What she said later about what photography had taught her, it taught her that life doesn't stand still. Life never stands still. And a photographer has to capture, and a writer has to capture, life in its transience, the transience of life. And she has to capture it in words, that transience. She learned that from taking pictures. She also learned that you can take pictures of the real, but a fiction writer has to see around and through and the real.